So I'm walking. I got to the top, and that's the 73 right there. See that? And then that's Saddleback Mountain. Isn't that beautiful? All my life I've seen that. And as I grew older, right, I just didn't see those there's little like needles on top of that mountain. I don't know if you could see that. Look at that. Now you can't really see it. See it? See it right there now? There's needles, right? Sorry. It's hard to do this. I don't have like all the stuff that you're supposed to have for just making it easier. But there it is on the top. Can you see it on the top? The needles. It's all they used to know that the military would quietly use that area. But we never really, I mean, people in the city that didn't ride bikes or motorcycles were never really in tune with that. Yeah, so this is the Liso and Wood Canyon other side, Laguna portion of it. Can you see that? There's another portion of the 73. It's really beautiful here. I'm sorry, I'm going kind of fast. There we go. This is part of California that, I mean, little by little, it's getting eaten away by homes that are ridiculously priced that no one can really afford, even if you were born here. It's so sad. But it's beautiful. I mean, you can still see beauty, right? Right here. I look at red ants. Sorry, I'm gonna switch around. I have no idea what I look like. I apologize. And at a time. There's bikers. Oh well, he went behind me. I am walking. My husband is riding his bike. Yeah, I like to come out. Ooh, it's supposed to rain today, but I don't know about that. It's just beautiful. It's nice to come out and see things. I've experienced some interesting things that have happened to me. I did the suicide walk, and then I showed you a little bit of my statistics. I didn't even realize that all of that. I didn't realize in the last 25 years. I mean, I know a lot of people die in communities. I just didn't realize in our small community how many people die. And we don't even know really the statistics behind it. It said 8 to 10 times higher in the organization of Jehovah's Witnesses. So that's kind of crazy. Yeah, so I think that when I actually did that deep dive statistical work and went to the suicide walk, out of darkness suicide walk, it kind of hit me, you know. It hits hard. Death is not something that as Jehovah's Witnesses we really ever faced, right? And I didn't get to see my mom die, as most of us don't. We don't get to see our loved ones because they're just so culty. And to be quite honest, I was okay with that. I had a mother that was very difficult to deal with and very harsh, and she used the organization as punishment. She liked it. I feel like she really enjoyed seeing us punished. And I had heard her before say, oh, well, if my kids get in trouble, I'm going to let the elders deal with it. Well, she did. And because of that, family members in my family didn't get the help they needed, and the proper psychological help. And so, yeah, it sounds kind of harsh. My mom was difficult to deal with. And death, I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to be around her. during the time that she was dying. I didn't want to deal with what comes with death. However, I still am curious, and I have a wonderment about it. And in different cultures, death is experienced in different ways. Even in the United States, New Orleans, when someone dies, they pick up the horns and they start singing and they dress up and they enjoy life. And that's how they deal with death in their communities. The people that around them still enjoy life. I got to see death, and that kind of hit me because now I'm a caregiver and it suits me well. I get a chance to meet different families, and like I said, I had a sense of wonderment when it comes to death and curiosity, and to see how other people deal with it. And I was actually experiencing that when I was doing the Out of Darkness suicide walk. So I was dealing with a family that was under hospice, and so I'm still curious to see how families deal with death that are not Jehovah's Witnesses. And surprisingly, they do very well. Of course, here in America, we have families that believe that they're going to heaven. And so, since I have deconstructed a lot of my Christian beliefs, I still have a lot more to go. I mean, I'm not by any means untouched by biases that I may have, right? But I am trying, and I'm trying to understand where I need to work on certain things. But so I'm getting to see and hear how people deal with death. And like I said, I have a curiosity and a wonderment, and that has kind of spurred me into just being quiet during the times that they speak, and letting people express themselves. Because at that point, when somebody is dying, you're not going to go and say, well, I don't believe that. No, you don't do that. You just quietly listen. And being a good listener, right, is really important. And just being able to listen to their experiences and what they feel and how they deal with it and how well they do. Even if in the family, each one of them has a different belief, right? Because that's part of it. Because I noticed that everyone has a different belief. There could be 4 people in the family, and they all don't really believe the same way when it comes to death and how they're treated, how the parents treat them, how they treat their parents that express things that they're not really, the children don't really believe, adult children. How do the adult children deal with their children and how they express death, So it's kind of fascinating. I like that I'm doing that. And because I didn't do that for my mom, there was a big, huge chunk of and I didn't do it for my grandmother. My grandmother was taken away. Her house was sold. None of the family got together. This was by a Jehovah's Witness. He did that. He didn't treat the family that were not Jehovah's Witnesses fairly. There were 4 siblings altogether. My grandmother had 4 children, all from the same man. They both had cult background. My grandmother was baptized Jehovah's Witness. My grandfather was a baptized Jehovah's Witness on my mom's side. And somehow the kids always sided with the father that was a deadbeat. That was my grandfather. He had multiple families in different areas with multiple children. And he was a Jehovah's Witness. And the brothers always seemed to cater to, of course, the men. And he was Hispanic. So, yeah, it was sad how my grandmother, she realized a lot of things, she just didn't say it. She explained that she wasn't treated right by the elders in her congregation because she was a single mom with 4 kids, trying to raise them in a community where there was a high gang prevalence in their particular community. So it was hard for her. She didn't feel the same welcoming treatment that my mom did. And my mom, she didn't get good treatment either, but she just ignored it. And like I said, it went well with her continual harsh behavior. Jehovah's Witnesses, the punishment that she liked to give. So going back to the families, I'm enjoying, death is a sad experience. No one wants to see their loved ones die. However, they all are dealing with it without a specific belief and managing very well. And I am experiencing a portion, well, maybe they're not my family, but they're part of the human family. So it's, for me, I needed to see that. I need to see how people deal with death and death itself. So I got to see that firsthand, and I've seen it before with my dad. I was the last person to see my father alive. And I got to experience his last breath, and I've gotten to experience that with someone else too. So I think when you have a child, you get to see their first breath, but to experience someone's last breath, wow, it's probably just as amazing. And just as, now when I use the word miraculous, I mean, I'm not giving it to any deity. I'm not aspiring it to, giving that to something that I can't see. But it is amazing to hear someone else's last breath than just their first. So, yeah, I have to say, as a human being, experiencing death in a way that I'd never experienced before, that's pretty intense. And I'm very grateful for the opportunity and the privilege of being able to see these families and how they deal with it. It's not an easy experience for them. For me, I'm an onlooker, so I don't really have to experience the emotions that they're experiencing, but I do feel, and that's something that I didn't experience with my own family. Death was something that was you just don't have that. They don't believe in it, so you're supposed to just go on without the feelings. It was nice to have the feelings, to cry and to know that we just don't know. As Betty White says, it's a secret. And her mom always said that. It's a secret. So we'll see. I hope this video finds you doing well. I haven't made videos for a while. I haven't done any readings either. Just like I said, I've experienced some emotional things that I haven't experienced before, and just to let it set and settle in and feel them, that's what I'm doing. And to explain them, it's hard. As an ExJW, I still am in so much wonderment when it comes to death, because the experience is, we always thought we had the right we knew what was going to happen. We just don't. And we don't even know how we're going to handle it when it does happen. I mean, it's different for everyone, how they experience death, how their families experience it, how each individual sees it, and how they break it down emotionally. So that's what I'm going through. And I thought I could share that with you along with this. I mean, yes, there are very sad experiences around the world that we're all experiencing it. And we're all having difficulties trying to process it all. But to come out here and listen to beauty and hear it, see it, feel it, makes me glad I'm still here. And I'm grateful. So, I hope you are doing well. The gnats are eating me. I am very much alive. So, yes, follow your bliss and be good humans.